Have you ever heard about a puppy that spent 18,000 years frozen in ice? No? How about lion cubs that froze over 50,000 years ago? Still no? Then you definitely need to watch this video. In it, I'll talk about the most unusual and unexpected discoveries that have literally been frozen in time. Stay until the end. The final story will definitely surprise you. Enjoy watching. The Mammoth from Novosibirsk. I'd like to begin my story with a very unusual discovery. On the Liakovsky Islands of the Novosibirsk archipelago, archaeologists made a unique find, a nearly pristine carcass of a female mammoth. This incredible case drew special attention from scientists, as such preservation of an animal is rare, even for frozen remains. The main sensation was that the prehistoric giant's blood had been preserved despite millennia of permafrost. At a temperature of 14 degrees, the blood didn't freeze, which is a true miracle. Moreover, even at lower temperatures, reaching 1 degree, the blood remained liquid. This discovery could be a turning point in studying the Ice Age and preserving ancient organic materials. The mammoth found on the Novosibirsk archipelago islands was a victim of a violent death. It's likely the animal got stuck in a marshy area, desperately trying to escape, but failed to overcome the difficulties and died of exhaustion. Interestingly, this might have contributed to the exceptional preservation of the body. The lower part of the mammoth's torso was submerged in almost pure ice, which kept it in such amazing condition until today. Mammoths that inhabited northern Eurasia and North America are among the most mysterious and iconic representatives of the Ice Age. These giant creatures, covered in thick fur, were perfectly adapted to the cold conditions of their time. Their size and unique tooth structure allowed them to efficiently feed on vegetation, and their large tusks were used not only for defense against predators, but also for finding food under the snow. Studying such finds as this female mammoth can help us better understand the climatic conditions and ecological changes that occurred during the time of their existence. The frozen battle. The next discovery surpasses even the previous one in its uniqueness. In 2016, near the town of Unalakleet, Alaska, archaeologists made a discovery that initially sparked skepticism. They found 2 moose frozen in ice at the moment of a fierce battle. At first, scientists assumed these were just animals shot by hunters, but upon closer examination, it turned out the find was much more astonishing. Researchers discovered that the moose were submerged in ice during their struggle, which allowed their bodies to remain almost untouched for millennia. It appears these moose were fighting for the attention of a female. As a result of their struggle, an unfortunate accident likely occurred. Both animals fell into an icy river, and, locked together by their antlers, they couldn't escape the water and died trapped in ice. Apparently, moose aren't big on reading history books, so they didn't know about the battle on the ice. Their antlers, frozen in icy patterns, testify to a brutal and intense fight. These animals, struggling to survive in the harsh conditions of the Ice Age, became symbols of the complex ecosystem of that time. The discovery in Unalakleet allows us to better understand how moose interacted with each other and how changing climates could have impacted their lives. Preserved in ice, they provide us with a new perspective on their daily challenges and the difficulties they encountered. Saving the moose. By the way, moose seem to have a knack for getting stuck in icy rivers. Honestly, I'm not sure why, but here's another unusual situation. In the Swedish town of Örnsköldsvik, located in the Västernorrland region on the Baltic Sea coast, there was a touching story of a moose rescue that quickly spread across the internet. It was a winter day with a frozen lake, and 3 people, a woman and 2 men, were enjoying skating. Everything was going smoothly until they suddenly noticed a moose in trouble nearby. The animal had fallen through the thin ice and was desperately trying to escape, but its strength was gradually fading. The woman, wasting no time, began to act. Taking an axe, she started breaking a path in the ice, directing it toward the shore to create a way for the moose to escape. Every strike of the axe became a chance for the animal's survival. Meanwhile, one of the men, holding a camera, decided to draw the moose's attention to encourage it. He started making unusual sounds, trying to inspire the animal to make a final effort. However, the moose was so exhausted that it decided to take a break, literally lying down on the ice. At this tense moment, it seemed the outcome hung by a thread. The moose was clearly worn out, and the cold water threatened to completely paralyze it. But thanks to the perseverance and compassion of the people, the ice finally gave way, and a path to safety opened up for the moose. With great difficulty, literally using its last bit of strength, the animal managed to escape from its icy prison. It slowly rose to its feet, staggered, but still made its way back into the forest. The couple and their friend, undeterred by the cold waters and the unpredictable behavior of a wild animal, did everything they could to give the moose a second chance. And while for them it was just a moment of human kindness, for the moose, it meant a return to its natural habitat and a continuation of life in the wild. Not frozen, just sleeping. And if the previous stories didn't impress you much, then listen to this. In 2018, a nature park in North Carolina witnessed an unusual natural phenomenon. During a record cold snap, alligators froze in the swamp waters, leaving their heads above the surface. This sight might have caused concern, but park staff assure us that this phenomenon is entirely natural. Alligators, like many reptiles, are cold-blooded creatures. Their body temperature depends directly on their environment. They are unable to maintain a constant temperature like warm-blooded animals, making them dependent on external conditions. As a result, when temperatures drop to critically low levels, they enter a state resembling hibernation. During this time, their metabolism slows to a minimum, and food consumption nearly stops. They can survive at temperatures as low as around 40 degrees, but when it gets colder, their bodies enter an energy-saving state. So, it turns out alligators are like bears, only green. To avoid suffocating under the ice, alligators instinctively stick their heads above the surface to get the necessary oxygen. This process was observed and documented by park staff, who described it in their blog. According to them, while these conditions aren't ideal, they do allow the reptiles to survive until temperatures begin to rise. If alligators remain in this state for an extended period, which can last more than a week, they may need help, as a lack of oxygen could lead to their death. Fortunately, in this case, nature provided the help. Temperatures began to rise and the air warmed to a comfortable level. Thus, the alligators were able to return to active life, enjoying the warmth and once again becoming part of the park's ecosystem. This unusual case shows just how well adapted alligators are to extreme conditions and how they interact with nature in remarkable ways. Rhinos Sasha. Have you ever heard about fluffy rhinos? No? Then it's time to listen. In the fall of 2015, an incredible discovery was made on the banks of the Semyulyak River in Yakutia. Remains of a baby woolly rhino that became a real sensation in the world of paleontology. Local hunters who initially mistook the remains for a deer carcass later noticed a tusk indicating that they were looking at an ancient animal. The baby was named Sasha in honor of one of the hunters who discovered it. In February 2015, this unique artifact was transferred to the Mammoth Fauna Research Department of the Yaki Academy of Sciences, where detailed studies began. Despite some damage to the carcass, the head and some soft tissues were preserved in excellent condition, allowing scientists to gain important insights into woolly rhinos. Paleontologists believe Sasha can provide information about the diet of these ancient animals, their living conditions, breeding methods, and their closest relatives. What makes the find even more significant is the fact that Sasha is the first baby woolly rhino discovered in such good condition. Previously, scientists had only been able to find remains of adult individuals, often just fragments of bones. The woolly rhino was a typical representative of the mammoth fauna of the Ice Age. Unlike its modern descendants, it had a more massive build, large curved horns on the forehead, and a thick woolly coat that protected it from harsh conditions. These giants could reach 6 feet in height, and their length exceeded 15 feet. Their weight reached 4 tons, and the length of the horn sometimes reached 5 feet. Woolly rhinos fed exclusively on plant material and disappeared around 15,000 years ago due to global climate changes, a reduction in food resources, and active hunting by humans. Sasha's discovery provides a unique opportunity to look into the past and learn more about the lives of these amazing creatures that once inhabited our planet. The oldest puppy. I don't know about you, but I really love puppies. They're always so cute. But imagine a puppy that spent 18,000 years in the ice. That's something incredible. In 2018, a unique find was made on the banks of the Indigirka River in Yakutia. A perfectly preserved mummy of an ancient puppy was discovered in the permafrost. The condition of the remains is astonishing. Thick fur, skeleton, teeth, head, and even the tiniest details like eyelashes and whiskers are preserved almost perfectly. The puppy was named Dogor, which means friend in Yakut. However, Dogor turned out to be not only a source of admiration, but also a mystery for scientists. There is still no exact answer to the question of what species this ancient puppy belonged to, whether it was an ancestor of the modern dog or a wolf. Some researchers believe that dogs appeared about 15,000 years ago and descended from extinct wolf species. Others adhere to the theory that the first domesticated dogs appeared much earlier, possibly around 30,000 years ago. This discovery opens a new window into ancient history. After all, dogs are not just human companions, their evolution is closely intertwined with ours. Wolves and humans walked side by side for thousands of years, leading to a unique symbiosis that turned wild predators into our loyal friends. The close relationship between humans and wolves may have been the key factor that allowed us to domesticate these magnificent creatures. Currently, the puppy mummy is being studied at the Northeast Federal University in Yakutsk. Researchers hope that Dogor will help uncover even more secrets about ancient times and the evolution of both dogs and humans. Who knows? This little friend might become an important part of a big story. Kittens. Well, since we're talking about our faithful companions, it would be remiss not to mention another set of loyal, fluffy friends, kittens. More specifically, cave lion cubs. In 2015, 2 cave lion cubs, estimated to be about 55,000 years old, were discovered in Yakutia. Found in the permafrost, these little lion cubs were named Uyan and Dina. However, their story turned out to be tragic. Scientists found that the cubs were only a few days old at the time of their death. Apparently, their mother left them shortly after birth, which led to their demise. But Uyan and Dina are not the only cave lion cubs found in this harsh land. Recently, another lion cub, older than the previous ones at over 50,000 years old, was discovered near the Tirektyak River in the Abayisky district of Yakutia. This cub was older, between 1 and 2 months old at the time of its death. Its remains were remarkably well preserved, allowing scientists to make significant discoveries. Research on the new find has already yielded fruitful results. Due to the excellent preservation of the mummy, it has become possible to study the fur color of cave lions in more detail. Previously, such details were a mystery due to poor preservation of remains. It has now been revealed that their coloration was quite similar to that of modern large cats. Each new find like this brings us closer to understanding how these majestic animals lived in ancient times. Uyandina and other frozen lion cubs allow scientists to reconstruct the image of cave lions and learn more about how they adapted to life in the harsh conditions of the Ice Age. How did you freeze? The final story shows how creativity can turn into a disaster if you forget about acceptable boundaries. In southern Japan, an unusual themed ice rink opened, which quickly sparked a wave of criticism and discussion. The problem was that under the ice, visitors could see thousands of frozen fish, rays, and crabs. The sight was, to put it mildly, creepy. In photos that spread online, fish with open mouths are visible, and in some places, they were arranged in the shape of arrows, as if pointing the way across the rink. The park administration initially claimed that these were merely enlarged photographs of sea creatures, but the truth turned out to be quite different. The rink, the size of 2 skyscrapers, contained about 25 different species of fish and was made using real dead marine inhabitants. The fish were brought from a wholesale market where they were already deemed unsuitable for consumption. However, this information did not soften public outrage. Many social media users expressed their dissatisfaction, accusing the park's management of insensitivity and disrespect for nature. Some sarcastically remarked that skating on such a rink could end badly. Went ice skating and ended up in a fish's mouth, breaking my ankle. Negative comments and public discontent forced the park to reconsider its position. Ultimately, it was decided to hold a sort of memorial for the fish and close the rink. This story caught attention not only in Japan but also beyond its borders, sparking discussions about the acceptability of using dead animals for entertainment purposes, even if they are no longer fit for consumption. This case serves as a reminder that in the quest to amaze and entertain, it's important to maintain respect for living nature rather than turning it into a shock value spectacle. Well, such an unethical business idea is simply unacceptable. If you want to make money honestly, I have a proposal for you. We are looking for scriptwriters, voice actors, editors, and creative producers for our videos. Interested? Then follow the link in the description and leave your application. Thank you for watching.